Hey, what's going on, everyone? I am back for another Slim Sports interview. As always, I'm your host, Jay Slim. And joining me today is the rebounding queen from Morehead State, now making her way to the Marshall Thundering Herd to continue her dominance on the boards, in the paint, basically whatever she wants to do, because that's what she does best. I'm talking about Blessing King. What's going on, Bless?
Off the mark, there's an offensive rebound right there, and Blessing King has four.
Hi, everybody. I'm happy to be here. Thanks for having me, Jay.
Hey, absolutely excited to finally have you on. We've been trying to get you on for a couple of weeks now, and my schedule has been absolutely crazy. So it's yours, but thankfully now finally get you on for this interview after what was an incredible season for you. Spent your first year at the Division I level with Morehead State, where you guys went 15-15 overall, 10-8 in OVC action, and you were one of the best rebounders, not just in the conference, but in the country, which we'll get into that a little bit more here in a little bit because I got some pretty crazy stat numbers to go with all that information. But talk to me real quick about this first year at the Division I level with the Eagles this past season. What was that like for you?
It was definitely a change, like adjusting from the JUCO level to the Division I level. But I think JUCO did prepare me like on how fast the college game is, and like I was ready to like just come in and start playing immediately because I had did my previous year at JUCO, and I really enjoyed it. Like it was a lot of fun competition. We made some noise in our conference, which was good. So I liked it a lot. Like I think I did really well.
Mm-hmm. Spent that freshman year at Florida Southwestern in the JUCO ranks, like you mentioned, where I first saw what you could do. I was still doing stats back then down in Sunshine State of Florida before I moved up to the middle of nowhere in Kansas. Uh, Love my decision. That's what I keep telling myself. But while you were there that year at JUCO, 10.4 points, 13.7 rebounds, shot 62% from the field. Your 316 rebounds that year as a freshman broke that single season record. I believe you broke the field goal percentage record for a career in single season, and you had 5 games of 20 or more rebounds, which shattered the single game record multiple times. You finished off with 23 as your highest performance, and you only stand at 5'10", which is crazy. Usually you'd be seeing this from girls that are like 6'4". Angel Reese was like 6'2", 6'3". You're
Mhm.
standing at 5'10", and you're able to just dominate the board. So talk to me real quick about your ability to just crash the glass, box people out, find ways to get that ball for your team. How are you able to do that so efficiently?
To be honest, it's been something I've always been able to do. Like even in high school, like I was a really good rebounder. And I think a lot of my coaches would, when they would describe me, they would say I just have a really good knack for getting my hands on the ball. Like I anticipate really well where I think the ball is gonna go. So I think that's what's helped me. And I'm pretty athletic. So like I can out jump most girls. So like anticipation and being able to out jump a lot of people gets me to where I am, I think.
There you go. Like I said, stand at 5'10", but you play like you're 7 feet tall. So, and you helped out FSW a whole lot throughout that year. Like you said, you made some noise in that conference. And obviously, you know my background. I've worked with FSW for a long time. I'm still working at another JUCO now in Kansas. So I know that underdog mentality, that JUCO mentality. And I've
Mhm.
seen a lot of players go from those ranks to Division I, much like you did, to where you're able to make an impact right away. How would you say, learning from Coach Gerald Ellis that freshman year at FSW, how would you say that helped you make that transition to D1 a lot easier?
Like I said earlier, I would say it was like he kind of taught us how the Division I game would be and like how it was fast paced. You kind of always have to like you have to think basketball really well, like have a high IQ and you'll get to play. If you hustle, you'll get to play. Like just finding ways that you can help impact your team so you can stay on the floor, whether it's just find what you're good at and do it like at the best level. So I think that was how.
Yeah, and you were able to make that transition to Morehead State with ease. Like it just was nothing for you. I mean, you ended up averaging 6 points per game, 10.6 rebounds, shooting 58.6% from the floor. So still dominating what you did. You had a lot more scoring options at Morehead State.
Yeah.
You didn't have to really be that big of a scorer, but still, I mean, second in the OVC in rebounds per game, first in offensive rebounds in your conference. And we mentioned your height a couple of times. I think I saw this on social media originally, but I found it again. You were one of only two players, I believe, under 6 feet tall in the country to average double figure rebounds, which
Yeah.
I had to put that little bit of information out there because that just blows my mind. But obviously, you were a rebounding force both at JUCO and this past season at Morehead State. How would you say you had? How would you describe the difference in your roles between FSW and Morehead State besides the rebounding factor?
I think at FSW, I was more like seen as like we didn't have, or we needed a couple more scores to like fill up the stat sheet. So I think I was like I had a different role there. I had to score more, and besides rebounding, like assist more, just kind of be glue to the team a little bit. And I'd say I was still kind of glue at Moorhead, but it was more like we had like Veronica Charles, we had scores. So like I just needed to help in whatever way I could. And I feel like I started doing that more at Moorhead. So like rebounding, I had like I was averaging a couple steals a game too, blocks, like just becoming more. I've always been defensive minded, but just helping more defensively, like as much as I could, I think.
Yeah, and you had some incredible games throughout the year. 9 points and 13 rebounds in the OVC tournament against Tennessee State. You had 6 points and 18 rebounds against Southern Indiana, 8 points and 16 rebounds, along with three steals and three blocks against UT Martin. You talk about that defense. I mean, you were really showing it in
Yeah.
that game for sure. I look
Mhm.
back at the highlights, and you sent some of them back. That was absolutely amazing to see. But you ended up after the season entering the transfer portal, and
Mhm.
now you're heading to Marshall to join the Thundering Herd in what's an incredibly tough conference in the Sun Belt. Talk to me real quick about that decision to head over to Marshall. What kind of influenced you to want to wear green next year?
So the coaches at Marshall, like, even though it was a whole new coaching staff this year, like I kind of had been recruited by each one of them at some point in high school. So like I knew most of them, and they had all like the head coach, Coach Julie, she's very defense or very rebound minded. So like even in high school, she was recruiting me then, and like I had a relationship with her then, and like rebounding is what I do best. So like when they were recruiting me, like they told me like we have a place for you. We value what you do, and I really like that. And I feel like I can help make an impact in the Sun Belt with what I can do. So yeah.
Yeah, she has a lot of success under her
Mhm.
belt. That is for sure. Uh, she's actually going into Marshall her first year there. She spent the prior few years at one of the top Division III schools in Transylvania, where she actually ended up, I believe, winning a national title
Yeah.
and being runner up another year. And so this upcoming season, she's going to be new to the campus, just like yourself, first year there. Talk to me real quick about your expectations for this coaching staff that you're going to be joining or going to be, learning from at Marshall this upcoming year, with it being their first year there as well.
Obviously, the Marshall Women's program last year did very well. So like it's a winning culture here, a winning program, and a lot of the returners have that same winning mindset. Like they don't accept anything less than the best. Everybody wants to do the same, like surpass the expectations from last year. Like they already made it far. So like I feel like everybody's in that same mindset of we want to win, and everybody in the conference is coming for us too because obviously they won. So like I think the coaches have a big winning mindset. They want everybody to like everything's competitive. We're all working towards the same goals. So
hmm Yeah, and you talk about that success that they had last year. Their head coach from last year now going off to Tennessee.
mhm.
Obviously, we talked about the new head coach coming in, and I noticed something with Marshall for your guys' roster. A lot of the times when there's a new head coach coming in, pretty much everybody leaves. I mean, you
Mhm.
talk about like for men's basketball over at Kentucky, pretty much everybody left from
Mhm.
Kentucky's roster, and I've seen that with a lot of other rosters. With you guys, while you do have a good chunk of newcomers coming in, because it did have quite a few transfers, there is a good group that is returning from last year's squad from Marshall, it seems like.
Yeah.
So how do you feel like that's going to help you guys continue that success heading into next season, being able to kind of mix in with those newcomers pretty well, where they already have that winning experience?
So, because Coach Julie is so like you said, her reputation precedes her. I think that was what convinced a lot of the people from last year's roster instead of leaving to stay because they believe in what in her vision, they believe in what she has planned. So like everybody to us transfers, that shows like they have faith in her, and we have faith in her obviously for picking to come here. So I think that everybody's getting along really well. We all are kind of pretty similar. Like we're just competitive, we want to win, and like we'll do what it takes to win. So it's been going well. Like everybody's getting along really well.
Yeah, you guys have been there for a little while over the summer, getting those workouts
Mhm.
in, getting that chemistry built together. And so you're already kind of seeing what her system is like, what you guys are going to be able to do during the season, learning each other's strengths and weaknesses. Talk to me real quick about what it is that's going to make this Marshall team special heading into the 24-25 season.
So actually, we have the opportunity to go on an international trip. So this Saturday we're going to, or whenever this comes out, we'll be going to Italy and we'll play 2 games there. I think like 2 local teams. So we've been here for like a month in the summer working out. So we're gonna get that opportunity to play against other people actually, and like play real teams and just implement everything that we've been doing this summer. So it's kind of a little bit of a head start compared to what other people have. But I think that like we're gonna see in Italy like everything come together, and that'll be good for us to have that going into once preseason like officially starts, because we will already have played 2 games together.
Yeah, and it's always great having those international tours. So Blessing King's going to be getting rebounds on an international level now. So that's pretty cool for you. And you talked about it real quick. You know, your new head coach, very rebound-minded kind of scheme
Mhm,
system that she has put in place. So obviously, you're going to be able to blend in pretty well in that aspect. What
mhm.
other ways are you looking to improve your game to be able to blend into her system even better heading into the regular season this upcoming year?
So a little bit at my junior college, I was able to play more on the perimeter because we had like bigger forwards that could play inside as well. But last year at Moorhead, I didn't really get the opportunity to, because they needed me to like play a 5 because our coach really liked playing small. So, but I was fine with that. Like I'll do whatever the coach wants me to do. So, with Coach Julie, we've talked about like expanding my game outside of the perimeter, and so I can be more of a combo. Like I can play inside and outside when needed. So she's really been the coaching staff here has been really helping me do that, and that's like the next aspect of my game. And yeah.
Oh, I can't wait to see you start stretching your game out to that perimeter,
Yeah.
more inside out type of threat. And
Mhm.
obviously, we've talked a whole lot about your rebounding ability. I got to ask you because I thought about this while we were talking about it. Like we mentioned before, you standing at 5'10", your athleticism, you got a very high vertical, so you're able to get up there and rebound with the best of them. You you see some of these players, 6'4". I know Angel Reese was supposedly, regarded as the best rebounder in the country last year, but she's 6'2", 6'3", getting those board numbers.
Mhm.
Would you say because of your height, your athleticism, what you've been able to do and still average double-figure rebounds, you were the best rebounder in the country last season?
I wouldn't say all of that because Angel Reese is definitely like, even though she's tall, she has a great knack for getting the ball. Like she anticipates really well. A lot of people don't realize that, but she anticipates the ball very well. So I think I'm up there. Like I'm definitely sorry, I'm definitely undersized, but like I still think that I wouldn't say maybe top 10, but like I think my anticipation is what helps me get up there. But Angel Reese, I wouldn't want to. She has a great knack for getting the ball. So
Well, she's now in the WNBA, so
yeah,
the spot is
oh,
wide
that
open.
spot's open.
I have a feeling we're going to see a new rebounding queen here soon, this upcoming season. So
Maybe.
maybe Blessing King's going to be in that chair here soon. So
Mhm.
definitely excited to have you on for this interview. Been watching your games in JUCO ranks, like I said, and absolutely love what you do. And great personality, obviously. You and I are locked in for life. You're my little sister, which makes me feel old. So I'm definitely happy that we got to have this interview, and I can't wait to see what you guys end up doing this upcoming season at Marshall.
Mhm. Thank you. Thank you so much for having me, Jay.